Greetings, brothers and sisters. So, this is just a voiceover talking about people who are doing the heartfulness meditation or want to do the heartfulness meditation and having issues with, the same thing that I'm going through. And that we can meditate together and form our own egregore. The idea came to me, I don't know, a week ago. I mentioned it in the Journey Series 92. And the idea would be that every Sunday when there's group meditation, we would have the idea that we are meditating together, because there's no way I could do a set time, but people have different, schedules and different, they have, different time zones, and it would be impossible to get everybody to meditate at the same time. So the idea would be there to meditate Sunday morning for about 45 minutes, for the group meditation. Just have the idea that we're all meditating together and having group meditation together. And this is an experiment, right? It's something to see if it works, if it's effective, if people feel connected, if people feel the transmission, if people feel benefit, right? Like, I don't know if it's going to work or not, because we're in complete uncharted territory here. And so in terms of the experiment, please leave comments here talking about your experience. And don't worry about like hurting my feelings or something like that if you don't feel anything, or it's not a great meditation, or you don't feel the transmission, because that's the experiment, right? Like, if you've done the meditation and felt the transmission elsewhere and you don't feel it when we're doing this, then you should write that, right? That'll be helpful. That's good information. Not everyone's going to have the same experience either. And so there's no reason to comment on other people's experiences or compare them. It's not like anybody's doing anything wrong or some people are doing it better. It's just gathering information where each person expresses what they experienced during meditation. If you didn't feel anything, then say that. If you had whatever experiences you do. Just so that we can see if this thing is worth pursuing. I don't know if it is or not. It's what I'm doing on my own. And so it's just now including other people. I'm not encouraging people to leave the organization. You have to figure out what you need to do for yourself. But if you listen to my Journey series where I describe this, I had the idea. My wife and I were traveling. I had the idea, the 9 o'clock prayer the night before we left. And then we were driving in the car and we came back, and I received all this information from an Abhyasi in India, a preceptor in India, that Daji's $100 million pharmacy startup business collapsed into bankruptcy, and it looks pretty shady. It was just, kind of confirmation for me. And what I said in the video was, the people that found out about Sahaj Marg Heartfulness from me were, for the most part, other than individual preceptors, people who are great preceptors, weren't really welcomed. I worked towards integrating you all into the system. I tried to work with the people at Heartfulness to help, integrate you all. But they just, as much as they, the organization ostracized me, they didn't seem to want truthers. And then, of course, Daji said things that was anti-truther, and he's like hooked into all these, anti-truther organizations, the UN and all these organizations in India that are the opposite of, like, the truth movement type of stuff, which I believe came from Babaji in the first place. And now, after he's canceled these upcoming gatherings, I just, I knew that the organization and Daji were toxic to me. They were having a negative effect on me. So I just had this wonderful meditative experience during Basant that had nothing to do with Daji or the mission. I felt this, wonderful transmission. And I was, very glad to experience that, because I knew that I didn't need the organization and Daji to connect with the, what's called the divine hierarchy, the energy, the meditative energy. And it's called an egregore, which I believe is a French word, where it's like a group consciousness, like when people come together for satsang, for group meditation. And that's what happens in the Sajmark system and what happens on sets on group meditation on Sunday. And so I figured we might as well try to form our own egregore. I mean, or it's already being formed or whatever. And so let's see if it works, if those of you want to try it. And so again, meditating every Sunday morning. Hopefully I'll do a video like this for a while and get people's reactions, how they're feeling about it, right? If you feel more connected, less connected, you don't feel anything, feel free to say it. Again, it's not about me. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I would rather have the information and the data to see if the thing works, if it's working for you. And I'll, talk about my own experiences with the meditation. So Sunday morning sometime for about 45 minutes, when you feel a transmission trail off at the end or whatever it is. And then you can leave a comment here on this video, Sunday or Monday or whatever, and I'll review them, and then, I'll talk about it maybe next week. I mean, I have a trouble sustaining these things for whatever reason, but hopefully I will. So again, if you want to try it, you're welcome to try it, and all the best to you. This is Paul Romano, definitely reporting from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.